Coco Johnson, your Lady of Wellness. Join me as I address topics in all things wellness, from mental health, social disparities, and education, advocating for those who suffer in silence. Hi, I'm Coco Johnson, your Lady of Wellness. Join me as I address topics in all things wellness, from mental health, social disparities, and education, advocating for those who suffer in silence. Brought to you today by Rosa Sharon All Naturals, changing lives one tablespoon at a time. Welcome. I would like for you to welcome my new guest. Today is Donald FoSho Martin, all the way from Indianapolis to Atlanta, back to Indianapolis. Welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show today. I appreciate
We
it. I'm
appreciate
honored.
having you. Thank you so much. Can you give us a brief introduction of yourself and some of your work?
So I've been in comedy for over 2 decades. I am a comedian, of course, a father of three. Um, I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Indianapolis. I love my city. And so I'm down here on a journey. And so I just became an author. I wrote my first book. It comes out February 17th. It's called It's a Beautiful Pain.
Nice.
And I said that. Oh, and I'm an actor as well, about to be in a TV series down here in Georgia. So you'll be seeing me on big screens, like the screen you see now. This kind of screens I'll be on, but you'll be in the home being able to watch and
Oh.
pause and play, do all that stuff.
And rewind and watch again and all
yeah,
of that good stuff.
yeah. No
Awesome.
doubt, no
I'm
doubt.
excited about your book. I'm excited about your TV show. I've been following you on social media. We met
Thank
a
you.
few years back, and you brought the funny, and you brought the clean funny. My sister
Right.
brought you in from our volunteer group, and you came in and you just brighten up the mood. So I appreciate that. And from then on, we've been running in and out with each other. So I'm glad
Right,
that you were able to do this with me.
right. And so if y'all don't know that Rose is sharing, I had your product before.
All right.
And it's amazing. It is very. It's not just nutrition, but it actually tastes good. Because some things you can. They had some stuff back in the day where you be like, I'm not drinking that. But yours is actually healthy, but it's also tastes well. So yeah, that's how we met.
Oh,
Because it's amazing when I meet so many different people on this journey that I'm on, and so for us to connect and still be in connection, because I remember you remember the product, and you were selling it out your car, out of the SUV, and I'm like,
yes.
okay, better be good, because she's selling it out of a truck, but
We all got to
but
start
it was
somewhere.
amazing, right? So that's the amazing testimony. Like you have been consistent in what you're doing, and now you're doing you interviewing me, you podcasting. I
Yes.
don't even think I was that funny that day, but I must was funny somewhat that you still remember. So that's pretty cool.
Right. You are rememberable. So always keep that in mind. And
Thank
just
you.
and Mr. Percy, and we'll talk about that as well on your social media. It's hilarious.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I wanted to bring you in today because the show is all about wellness. It's all about being our best self, showing up for ourselves, and as well as our community. And I thought that your story really generated that passion behind what this show is about, what I'm about, and what we can give the audience a testimony, if you will, as to, we start here, but we're here if you be consistent. And laughter is sometimes looked at as of entertainment, but it also serves so many different perspectives. It's also helped people in different aspects. And one thing that I mentioned to a therapist is that when we were in this pandemic, we it was hard to laugh because we were operating in a such that we didn't understand, what's next, what we gonna do, how we gonna do it. And some of us thrived and some of us didn't. But I wanted to bring you in today to give your piece and your spill on how your journey went and how you can promote and help others if they're seeking to, as you say, jump scared.
Yeah. So 2020, even before, so 2019, I I said, oh, it's about to be 2020. Next year's 2020. 2020 for me was vision,
Mm.
like 2020 vision.
Mhm.
So it was vision. I always seen 2020, not knowing about the pandemic, not knowing about any of that, but I knew there had to be vision. So even in the pandemic, when it hit in March,
Mhm.
one of the craziest, a lot of people don't know, leading up to the jump scare, I did a jump scare in 2020
Mm.
that because I was working. So this is the thing, I was working at a dealership, at Andy Moore dealership in Plainfield.
Mhm. I remember.
So I one of the top salesmen doing pretty good. I left there to go down to Clarksville, Indiana, which is 2 hours away. I didn't even get promoted. I just went down there, same position, but I actually was losing money because I'm no longer driving the 25 minutes away. Now I'm driving 2 hours, which is a round trip of 4 hours. Plus, I'm going down there. It's not my footprint. People don't know who I am, and I was told you're not gonna make it
Mm.
because why would you leave where you got a solid base to go somewhere else. So I was like, let me bet on me.
Mm.
So I bet on me 2020, 2021. I did I exceeded so well they promoted me January 2nd, 2021 to be a finance manager. Now you're moving up. Now you're talking about a $50,000 raise. So now I'm about to. I'm already making six figures, but now I'm about to get in the two instead of the one six
Mhm.
figures.
Mm.
That's 2021 and 2022 of March. I jumped scared. I and at this time I had a convenience store called It's Sweet Treats on Martin Street
Mhm.
in on 38th and Mid Hoffer. Just started that. So for me to leave, beautiful home, everything was great as far as career wise.
Mhm.
But I knew it was more than life than that. So March 1st of 2022, I started March 1st of 2020, and March 1st, 2022, I resigned from my job, making
Mm.
$200,000 a year.
Wow.
Craziest thing ever.
Yes.
It was scary, but it was peaceful as well. So I
Mhm.
jumped. I didn't know what I was jumping into.
Mhm.
I lose pretty much everything.
Mhm.
Lose everything.
Mhm.
Home, relationships, cars. And I'm like, God, this is what you want me to do?
Wow.
Really? Then, added to that, God said, I want you to move to Atlanta. I don't know
Mm.
nobody in Atlanta.
Mhm.
No one. I didn't had to sleep in my car since I've been here.
Mhm.
Been all, pretty much homeless,
Mhm.
sleeping from people's house. Shout out to the people that allowed me to sleep in their home.
Mhm.
But I had nothing. But God, I had my peace. But so mentally, I was like, what are we doing? How is this to be? But I had one thing I did have. We talked about with the pandemic. I could write a joke.
Mhm.
I could laugh.
Mhm.
Cause I'm like, man, God, this is crazy.
Mhm.
Cause I'm originally from Flint, Michigan. Like that's where I grew up in. My mother raised four boys by herself.
Mhm.
So understand, we absolutely had nothing. When I moved to Indianapolis in 1989 with me and my mom, we stayed with family members. And then I only had one pair of pants and one shirt. That's all I had.
Wow.
So in the career wise, I got to the pinnacle. I was on schedule to be one of two or three African American owned dealerships in the state of Indiana. That was
Wow.
my goal. That was my dream.
Mhm.
So I was at the pinnacle. I was getting to the place where everybody knew who the Don was. but I wasn't at peace.
Oh.
I wasn't. I didn't. I wasn't laughing.
So you
They had joy.
took that faith and from your pain and added to and to understand the idea of the you really jump scared because you had nothing, then you came up on something, and then you decide to leave that something in order for you to get to the next level of what you were ultimately called to do. Is that fair to say?
You summed it. You summed it up like I couldn't say it any better than that because that's 100% true. Because um, I just know like my identity is not in materials no more.
Mm,
It's
that's
not.
mm-hmm,
Like I can stand in rooms. I can be amongst the greatness of others because I'm great.
that's
And
awesome.
once we understand that your greatness has nothing to do with how much money you make, not even how you look. It's what's inside of you. And so
Right.
when we talk about the wellness part, the greatest thing you can learn is when you learn you and learn how beautiful you are and learn how amazing an individual you are, then you become unstoppable. Because when you become unstoppable, you don't allow the mental illness of others to creep in. I was talking to my barber today, and I said, it's not what's on the outside of you that's going to hurt you, it's what you allow on the inside of
Inside.
you. So when we talk about mental wellness,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're on a ship or when you're on a boat, the waves may be going up and down the storm, but when it becomes a problem is when the water gets on the boat. As long as the water is not on the boat, it's the same storm. It could be the same. It could be two boats, two ships in the same storm. But the only one that would survive is when they don't allow, and then they navigate when they don't allow the water to come on the inside.
Oh,
And so the wellness part, the mental part is everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. My story is not greater than your story. It's just the decisions that I make for my story to become successful.
yes.
That's the mental wellness that I walk in now. So when I do comedy, I'm not just doing comedy to make you laugh. I'm doing comedy to make you think about who you are and how great you are.
That's awesome. So let me get into this. So you said some really great things, really great points. They brought home a lot of great um shoot, it made me think. So, and one thing that I like to say to people is what's for you is for you. And if
Mhm.
you understand that within, then you will understand that the competition is not necessarily your neighbor. It's with making yourself a better you in order to make your community better. So when
Amen.
I say those things, I think about because I love to laugh. I love to laugh. I'm really silly. I'm the youngest out of the bunch, out of my family, and they always
Right.
call me the clown. And if I can, sometimes you hear the phrase, it you got to laugh to keep from crying.
Right.
Um, that can go in two different directions. That can be, oh, I look at it as, oh, I'm okay. Things are horrible, or I'm okay and things will be better. How do you see that in terms of the people you deal with daily, um, and the things that you often have to struggle with yourself when you're coming up with this material, when you're coming up for the crowds, where you're showing up at? How do you can you give us any insight on that?
So I thank you for asking that. So the one of the greatest insights is oh 07, my brother was murdered.
Oh.
So in oh 07, my oldest brother was murdered.
Mhm.
So my mom and it was four of us all together. So my mom and then my other two brothers, they're identical twins. We
Mhm.
was all at the funeral home,
Mhm.
doing the arrangements and the funeral home at the time, we was joking and laughing And because once again, my brother was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like, he died of like car accident. This was a tragedy that happened. And they were so surprised how I sense of humor. Like, y'all are laughing?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are joking? How y'all do it? And the day that my brother got murdered, I had a show that night,
Mm.
the same day. And I was able to do it because I knew laughter
What's the
was my
medicine?
sanctuary.
It was the medicine.
Comedy is my sanctuary
Mm-hmm.
that no matter what I'm going through in life, that they call me for show.
Mm-hmm.
You was like for sure. You was like for sure, for sure. But it's for show because sometimes for show is my alter ego.
Nice.
I can escape to for show.
Mm-hmm.
When Donald Martin is hurting,
Mm-hmm.
when Donald Martin feel like crying,
Mm-hmm.
when Donald Martin feel like I don't want to be there, I do have for show to say, hey, let's go tell these jokes.
Okay.
Let's go perform in front of people because it's your sanctuary. It's therapeutic. You great at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So now, at least for an hour, 30 minutes, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just making them laugh,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm helping me to live. I
Nice.
make you laugh so I can live. Make sense?
Yes, it makes total sense. So
So
let me ask you this. So when you go out and you have your audience, and 9 times out of 10, kind of probably the audience that you're getting ready to serve, how do you want the audience to basically come out of what their everyday lives, and how do you want your comedy to reflect and help them feel better about themselves, not even just the show, probably around your friends and family when you're clowning, that kind of deal? How do you what are your goals? Do you even think that what are your goals and your intentions as far as I'm funny on a natural basis, you might think to yourself, but at the same time, what do I hope to do to help someone?
my whole goal is for you to bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to come out of any show that I do
Mm-hmm.
and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm a bet on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole goal.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to bet on yourself because when you start betting on yourself, see, we won't, a lot of times in life we say, I deserve better.
Mm-hmm.
We usually think about whether it's relationships or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I deserve to be treated better. The best person that can treat you better is actually you. So I want you to bet on yourself. That's when you come to my shows, it's like, man, this guy, he was funny. But man,
Made me think.
you can tell that he's doing what he is called to do. And then you get the backdrop. I just bet on myself. I jump scared.
Mm-hmm.
I trust God. Uh, and then God always tells me there's never an arrival on this journey. I teach people that too. Because when you even in your see a lot of times we thinking, when we get to success, this is it. Even when I was in the car business, this is it. God said, yeah, that was cool,
Yeah.
but I need you to go somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
So, but we only think about, but even in our bad moments, when we're going through our bad moments, when we're going through depression, when we going, it feel like we don't want to make it. This is not the end as well. I got somewhere else to go, and I'm gonna go somewhere.
Nice. So we got deep on into the, you know, now I gotta show the audience why you are for sure. So, not to put you on the spot, but give us a time or give us a story or give us something that, you are entertaining and like a joke or however, something, just get a little audience a little taste.
So one of my signature jokes right now is I'm raising my mother. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm raising my mother just like she raised me.
Yes.
So I take my mother to the store now,
Mm-hmm.
and before she go in, I got to give her instructions. Don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing. Matter of fact, don't even look at nothing. So I sit her in the back seat of the car, and she gets excited when she see them golden arches. And I look back at her and say, nope, we got food at home. So that's one of my jokes because it resonates with people like you. You know, I'm a petty son. I put all my bills in my mama name now because that's what she did when I was a kid.
That is funny.
Right. So that right there, and what's crazy about them jokes that I do, I just did it. I did that. I had some comedy to do last night, and them jokes that I do, people come up to me and be like, "Man, I feel you. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when the street lights. I remember," and I'm just telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just having fun.
Yes.
And what makes things funny is because it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
We can all go, and that's the beauty thing about the black experience about us. We all have the same story in some ways. I can say this. Let me say this and see what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Your mama used to always say, "I brought you in this world."
I'll take you out.
I understand. We all got the same mama. Now, understand that's been said when there was no social media around.
Mm-mm.
So you can be in Mississippi, you can be in Indiana, you can be in Michigan, you can be in California. I done
Mm-hmm.
done this joke that I done said that same thing in all every state I done been in. I can say that part, and the crowd would finish. I
What
would
you
take you
say?
out
Yes.
because we all find out we all got the same experience. It just
Yes.
depends on how you react,
Mm-hmm.
how you overcome it, and that's why I want people to bet on themselves because I got plenty of issues.
Mm-hmm.
I got so much. I need tissue for my issues. I got so many issues. You can put them on the magazine stand. I got plenty of issues, but
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, my children ask me, and people ask me, how's your life being so good now, so much better? I said because I started making better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Why is
people
that?
want to know, even in mental wellness, they want to, how do I live a better life? Start making better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And don't look for instant gratification.
Yes.
Because that's the nature we in. When you deal with the mental illness, oh, okay, I'm gonna start today doing great. Okay. But then when you work out, I go work out, I'm like, oh, I done got on the treadmill, I'm lifting weights.
Mm-hmm.
Before I leave that gym, I gotta go to the mirror and be looking like, oh, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I just started working out.
Mm-hmm.
The results not gonna come in the first maybe
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 weeks. They say it takes 21 days to burn sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sugar, sugar, sugar.
or yeah, and then or it's like it turns into fat. So I'm just saying, like I tell people all the time, just make better decisions.
Right. When you know better, you do better.
You do better.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Percy, let's talk about Mr. Percy. Now, that one is funny because I too can relate raising my mother. My mother
Yeah.
was ill, and life switches on us. We thought that we were the kids, and then all of a sudden we have to do certain things and make decisions for our parents for their well-being. And so I've been following you on Facebook, and I see the Mr. Percy stories, and they are hilarious. And so, how did Mr. Percy and that whole setup start?
Sitting on my mother's couch,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to be a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, I had to go to like Atlanta was more than just comedy. I learned a lot about me. Sitting on my mother's couch, and my mother always tried to treat me like a boyfriend.
Mm.
So like, do I look good? You never said nothing about my hair. I said, my mama need a boyfriend. And so I created my mama a boyfriend, Mr. Percy.
Mm.
So it's like, Mr. Percy is me
Mhm.
if I was her boyfriend. So now I just created a character, which he'll be coming out this year. Mr. Percy is coming out this year.
Nice.
He's coming. He's coming. He's getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
We coming out with Mr. Percy this year. He may be at some shows. When I
Uh-huh.
do some shows, Mr. Percy
Uh-huh.
may come to some shows.
Nice.
So that's how I created it. It was created out of, and it's the craziest thing. I'm sitting. because this was one of the darkest. Mr. Person created one of the darkest times of my life. Because I'm going back and forth to Atlanta. I don't have no place to stay. I thought I was gonna move back to Indianapolis, and then my mother lived in a senior citizen home, a 1 bedroom, and I'm sleeping on her couch. I had to get up every morning, depressed, going through a lot of things, and going through a divorce, all that, and I'm sitting there, no money. They have money to pay for no gifts or anything. I didn't do any of that. And he was actually birthed out of my darkest moments. I just think about that now. I didn't even think about it.
Wow.
But he was birthed out of my darkest moments. And that's why I want to encourage people, like, it's in your darkest moments where you're your greatest. And it don't make sense at times. But because we're in a time now that you can take a picture on your phone and it's instant.
Right.
But we grew up with the Polaroid. Where you had to put it in darkness for it to be developed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean what you have to do?
So
That's the thing.
cool. So we're almost out of time, but I always want to leave our audience with some healthy tips. So, do you have any tips or any resources that someone can use, like your your story, and also some mechanisms to help them cope with life, and how they can use comedy and laughter incorporated in their lives?
Uh, the first tip is get to know you. I think we are in a society where we allow other people to dictate and say who we are,
Yes.
and so it causes us to be a representative. We're not who we say we are. So, and I think with that, getting to know who you are, and then find out what you really love about you. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, you can ask them what they don't like about themselves, they can write it down real quick.
Yep.
But if you ask them what they love about themselves, they be like,
Yep.
hmm.
True.
And then even if we do even if we do love about ourselves, we always have a rebuttal against what we
But.
love about ourselves. But I like the way I look, but I can lose 20 pounds. Okay. So I think love yourself, know who you are, love yourself. The resources, there's always. I mean, I'm a man of faith, so the Bible. But there's plenty of things on social media as far. I mean, like
And don't
YouTube,
forget about your
self.
book.
Oh yeah.
And your
So I got
book.
a book out. It's right. It's a beautiful page. You can get that book, and it's really just dealing with the triumph. You're dealing with a little boy that's from Flint. That rose fell. It was the scariest thing to have to do because I had to. I'm in the book. I'm very transparent, like all my failures, dealing with the law, dealing with my brother, dealing with two marriages that failed. That I don't blame them. I look at me. So I literally like, cause then I'm like, guys, you sure you want me to share this because I may lose people? And God says, well, if they still, this was the 28, 29-year-old, 30, if they still looking at that old Donald, yeah, they don't supposed to be in your life anyway.
Right.
So
That's
with the
awesome.
book, it just deals with victory, dealing with, one of the hardest things for me to understand is being molested when I was 15. A lot of men, especially black, we don't want to talk about that. I was scared to say all of them. Like, I know I'm really grown because I'm saying it on this podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but the thing is, and it's not because I wanted to explain. Well, how was my last guy said, stop trying to stop trying to give it a soft whatever. No, it happened whatever anybody think they're gonna think anyway. But
Right.
just tell the truth.
Right. All
And
right.
so that was scary.
Well, that's a testimony in itself. But by
Yeah.
all means, where can people get in touch with you? How can they find you? What's your social media?
So my social media, and you can find me now. Instagram is the best place to find me. It's for show 413. That is FoSho 413. FoSH, because most people say for show, but
Mm-hmm.
FoSho 413. I'm on TikTok is for show 413. I believe that's it on, or fix your face or something like that.
On Facebook.
Yeah, so you make sure you got to put Donald Martin the comedian.
The comedian is on
Yeah,
Facebook. And also, you'll be having shows. We are going to be back in town for All Star Weekend.
yeah. I will be at Tech High School on that Friday, speaking to over 1,200 students.
Nice.
I'm gonna be talking about jumping scared, telling them jokes, and then the 18th I will be at an old place called Rock Bottom, like a brunch from 12 to 3. Waiting on the flyer to come out for that, but all that's happening. All that's happening.
Nice. All right, Grandma. Well, I appreciate you being on the show today. And I enjoyed our conversation and learning more about you. And I'm sure we'll be in touch. And again, thank you for coming in on the show and expressing and telling us about your back end story and how we can help one another and also gain our own awareness of our own mental health and wellness.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate you. And again, today, thank you for joining us today. Our show was brought to you today by Rosa Sharon, All Naturals, changing one tablespoon at a time. And we're out.